Hello students. So in this class we will see how to create a primary key for a table. A primary key is used for identifying the records of a table uniquely. As I told you earlier, if I want to change the value of a particular field in a specified row, we need to address it using a unique value, and so we'll be using fields such as class number, admission number, etc. as primary keys. Okay, so we will see how to create primary key in a table. So the query for creating a primary key, or it can be done in different ways. Now I am going to show you how to create primary key along with table creation. So create table student. My table name is student. So create table student. Then inside brackets we are giving the field names, space, type, and here we can give it as primary key. So class number is of integer type and is of primary key constraint, comma. We are giving the name field as character 10 size. Okay. Then I am going to give the field marks integer. Okay, so we have three fields in the table student. First field is class number, it is of integer type and it is a primary key also, and name is a character field, and marks is a integer field. Okay, so we'll do it. Okay, I'm going for MySQL minus u root with password. So give the password, then use S3 CS database. Okay, now I would like to give the query. Okay, so I am copying this query from here, copy, and I am pasting it here. So create table student, class number int, primary key, name of character type 10 size, and marks of integer type. So it shows query okay, and now you can see the structure describe student. So it will show class number as integer type, and the key column you can note that it is PRI, that is primary key. So we can insert only unique values in the class number field. Okay, so I am inserting this field, insert into student values. Class number is 1, name is Arun, and marks is 30. Okay, one query is executed and one row is inserted. If I give the same values, it will show error because duplicate entry 1 for key primary. So it is not possible to duplicate the values in primary key. So I have to change the values like this, insert into student values 2. The other two fields can repeat because we have not given any constraint, and so this is also executed. That is, we have two records, select star from student. Okay. So the class number field is made as primary key, and we cannot insert duplicate values in that field. Okay. Okay, so this is the way that we create a primary key along with table creation. Now we will see another way, that is, I am creating a table, create table student, then class number int, comma, name character 10, comma, marks integer. So this is a normal type of table creation without any keys, and after that we can give a comma and can give primary key as class number. Okay, we will try to execute this also. So before that we have to drop that table, because we are using the same table. So drop table, drop table student, show tables. Okay, no more tables. Okay, so I am copying this and I am executing this. Create table student, class number int, name. Okay, so the difference is that we have given the primary key at last. That is, here we have given the normal fields like that. We have not specified about the constraints, and at last, after a comma, we have put a keyword called primary key, and inside that we have given a bracket, and we are placing the field which needs to be created as primary key inside brackets. So this is another way of creating primary key for a table. And this type of queries are called column level constraints. We are setting the constraints in the column level. That is, while adding a column, while adding a field, we are setting the constraints. That is column level constraints. And after defining all the columns, we are defining a primary key using this syntax, we call it as table level constraints. Okay. So these are two methods of setting primary key to a table. Both works in the same manner. We have two syntaxes. One is using column level constraints and the other is using table level constraints. Okay, so we will drop the table again. Drop table student. Okay. Okay, we have two interfaces open. Let me close one. Okay, so this is our interface. Short tables, create table. We have one table here. We'll try to select it. Select star from student. Okay, does not exist. So we have dropped the table student. Now I will try one more syntax, that is create table student. Again class number int, one field is over, comma, name character 10, comma, second field is over, then marks int, third field is over, and we are using a new term called constraint, and I am giving a name for this constraint, T1. Okay, and the constraint is primary key, and the constraint is to be placed on the class number. So we have the same syntax with a slight difference. We have a keyword called constraint here, and I have given a name here, constraint T1 primary key class number. We'll try to execute this in the SQL prompt. Okay, here also it shows query okay, and the difference between the previous one and this one is that we have a name for this constraint. Here we don't have a name for this constraint, but here we have a name for this constraint, and the name is T1. So what is T1? T1 is the constraint name of the primary key set. Okay, so the advantage of this is that if you want to remove this constraint at a later stage, we can drop it using the alter command. Okay, so all these three will work. One is with column level constraints, other is with table level constraints, and other is table level constraints with a name for the constraint. Okay, so here we have usually the primary key constraint. If you want to give more constraints, then we can put a comma here, and we can give a next constraint there also. Here we are using only primary key constraint. So I have shown you the three methods of defining these constraints. Everything is same. It works similarly. The column level constraints and table level constraints works exactly similarly, exactly same. And the third one is that we are having a name for the constraint so that it can be removed if necessary at a later stage. Okay, we will try to do that. That is, I am inserting values. Insert into student values 1, comma, we have to give name iron comma 100, iron comma 100. So we have given the marks. We have to close the single quotes for the string. So iron comma 100 semicolon. So we have this first value inserted, and if I try to insert same value, it will throw error because primary key cannot have duplicate values. So we have to change the value if needed. Okay, so to Anu, we have the primary key set only for the class number, so the primary key cannot be repeated, the other values can repeat. Okay, so we have this, we have two rows. we have 2 rows in this table now from student. So in student table now we have 2 rows. Okay, now if I want to change the constraint, if I want to drop the constraint, I can give alter table. Which table has to be altered? Alter table student. What has to be done? Drop constraint. The constraint named T1 has to be dropped. What happened? Drop constraint T1. Alter table student. Drop constraint T1. It shows some error. Okay, we'll try what happened. So it has shown error. We will see what it is. Alter table student drop constraint T1. That means the constraint was primary key. Okay, so and the name was T1. So we will try this. Alter table student drop. The constraint primary key has to be dropped. Okay, so it works. That means the command is like this: alter table student drop primary key. We will type it there. We will type it here also. Just not copied. Okay, alter table student drop primary key. Okay, so these are the 3 types. One is with the column level constraints, other is with the table level constraints, and the other one, the advantage is that we have a constraint primary key and it has a name, so we can drop it like this: alter table student drop primary key. So the primary key constraint is dropped. Okay, so we have a constraint table, constraint entry in for each table, and so that will be dropped. So alter table student drop primary key means the primary key constraint for the table student gets dropped. Okay, so these are the 3 types of primary key creations. And one more method is that I can do like this also. That is, I have created a symbol table like this. Control C, Control V. I am creating a symbol table like this without setting primary key. So there is no primary key set in for this table now. Then I can change the structure of this table by alter table student. What has to be changed? Add constraint T1. Add constraint T1. What is the constraint? It is primary key for the field class number. So this also can be, it is a fork syntax. So this is syntax 1 for create table primary key with primary key. This is syntax 2, and this is syntax 3 having a name, and this is syntax 4. That is, first we are creating a symbol table without any keys, then we are changing the structure of table by using alter table student, add constraint name, then primary key class number, and this works with 3 and 4. This works with 3 and 4. We can delete the primary key constraint. Okay, so this is about primary key. So primary key is a key which contains, is a field which contains non-duplicate values, The primary key will not contain duplicate values. It is a key chosen by the programmer for uniquely identifying the records in a table. Okay, for uniquely identifying the records in a table, and we can do it using these four syntaxes. Okay, see you in the next class. Thank you.